closer. Have you read the Bible lately?
Have I? Girl, let me tell you.
Child, it's so juicy. But I ain't a gossip.
But for you, I'm gonna spill a little.
Of course, you didn't hear this from me.
But make sure you spread the news.
Because we are about to spill the tea.
I'm royalty. I'm royalty.
Hello, Royals, and welcome to Tea Time. Y'all, I have to tell you guys a story about my girl named Tamar, okay? So this is not the Tamar, David's daughter, okay? Her story is too sad for us to gossip about, and we are not gossiping about it. But this Tamar that I'm talking about, my girl, is from Genesis 38, okay? You can find her in there, and please go read her story, y'all. Her story is so good. But I want to tell you guys about her. So, Tamar was married to a man named okay? So, was Judah's son. And if you know who Judah is the fourth son of the 12 tribes of Judah. Like, he's one of the 12 tribes, the 12 sons. So, that's who he is. So, he's the fourth son. Anyway, so she married his son, And the Bible says that was wicked. Y'all, he was wicked. The Bible said he was so wicked that the Lord killed him. Okay? So the Lord is full of grace and mercy. But for some reason, this one brother was doing too much. I don't know what he was doing, but he must have been some kind of crazy for the Lord to say, hey, yeah, no, I'm done. You're out. So either way, he died. The Lord killed him, and it left my girl Tamar as a widow. So she was a widow. Now, in their culture, the next brother in line should marry Tamar to continue the bloodline. So he would have a child that would carry his brother's name so that his brother's name can be carried. So that's the culture. So Onan, which is the next son, he marries Tamar. So he does marry Tamar. So he, quote unquote, looks like he's doing the right thing. But then when they when they sleep together, y'all, he pulls out and spills his seed on the side of the ground. The Bible says that he pulls out his seed and wastes. It said that he wastes it on the ground. That's rude. He's trying to have his cake and eat it too. Don't pull a stunt on me, brother. Don't pull a stunt. Anyway, he did this to Tamar. And the Lord saw it, and the Lord was mad. The Lord was like, this is wicked. This is wicked, and you're going to die. So he killed him. He killed him off. That's two, y'all. 2 husbands down. 1, 2 down. So he's out. So Judah, which is their dad again, Judah was like, okay, 2 of my sons have married this woman, and 2 of them have died. I'm not sure about her. And I wouldn't either, y'all. I'd be like, you know what, ma'am? yeah. 2 of my kids died. I'm not with you. But the thing is, Judah had a 3rd son, and that 3rd son should have married Tamar. But he said, no, go ahead and put on your widow clothes, Tamar, and go stay with your daddy. That's it. Go get out of my house. She was supposed to stay in his house, but she said, no, go stay with your daddy. When Shelah, which is his other son, gets older, then we can work on this marriage thing. So he sent her away. Y'all, he was not planning on giving her a 3rd son. He said, no, sir, not a 3rd one. You took 2. No, sir. So anyway, years later, Judah's wife died. And so he had a time of mourning. And after that time of mourning, him and his friends decided to go to a village called Timnah. So they were going to go there to shear their sheep. So they were shepherds. So they had to shear their sheep so they could make somebody a nice wool coat. You know what I mean? So they had to go there. And Tamar got wind of it. She heard, oh my gosh, my father-in-law is coming. And so she devised up a plan. She said, let me tell you something. I'm going to get mine. They owe me this. I know he ain't going to give me that man for my son. So I'm going to have to make stuff work. So what she did is she took off her widow clothes and she put on a veil. And when she put on a veil, she disguised herself and she went and sat at the gate or at the road in front of that city. So when Judah was walking up on that road, he saw her and he was like, ooh, he didn't know it was her. And let me tell y'all, his wife has been gone for a long time. He's not married. He ain't doing anything, y'all. He was feeling the feel, feeling lonely, y'all. He wanted to do and he saw this pretty lady, okay? So he was like, look at the Lord. The Lord just blessed me. She didn't. He was being foolish. But anyway, he thought she was a prostitute. And he was like, all right, I'm about to do this. So he walks up to her and he says, hey, you come with me. Come with me and come sleep with me. I'm like, was that the invitation? Was that supposed to be romantic? Because it wasn't. Anyway, he was like, come sleep with me. And she's like, okay, if I sleep with you, what you gonna give me? Because this ain't free. We're not handing out sleeps. This ain't free. And he was like, I'll give you a young goat. But I don't have it on me now, so I'm going to have to send it later. She's like, brother, I need collateral. Like, I need some collateral so I know. So he's like, okay, what do you want? She's like, give me your staff, your seal, and your cord So pretty much what those are to him is kind of like his license. It's his calling card. It's how you know it's him. So if anybody saw it, they would know it belongs to Judah. So he said, okay, I'll do that. So he goes and he sleeps with her. Yes, y'all. He doesn't know it, but he's sleeping with his daughter-in-law. So he goes and he sleeps with her and he does the do. And then he goes about his merry way. So after that, Tamar, my girl Tamar, she takes off her veil and she puts on her back on her widow's clothes and she goes to her daddy's house. And then Judah goes back to his house. And what he does is he sends one of his men back with the young goat to give to her. Because, he ain't he gonna pay for what he did. So he sends the goat back. But when that man gets to the city, she's not there. And then the people in the city are like, we don't have a prostitute here. We don't have a prostitute here. He's like, what? So then he goes back to Judah. He's like, there's no prostitute there. Nobody knows about her. What do I do? And Judah's like, what? Well, he's like, forget it. Leave it alone. Let her keep my stuff. We're just going to leave it. He's like, I don't want to be embarrassed. Literally, Judah was like, I don't want to be embarrassed. I don't want people to know what I was doing. I don't want people to even get wind that I was sleeping with a prostitute. Let's just leave it alone. So he left it alone. So 3 months later, Tamar gets preggo, y'all. Tamar gets pregnant. By the way, that's what she wanted. She wanted to get pregnant. That's why she slept with Judah, because she was like, you about to give me my baby. Anyway, so she gets pregnant. So Judah gets wind of this. They come and say, Judah, your daughter-in-law, Tamar, is pregnant. And Judah is livid. He is mad. Because, you guys, so she was under his bloodline. The moment that she married into his family, that was her family. So he became kind of like her dad, the person who was supposed to take care of her. And so he was supposed to take care of her, so she shouldn't have been with nobody, done anything with nobody. She's under this family. But let me just take a little side note, okay? If he was the person who was supposed to take care of her, he should have never sent her back to her daddy, okay? He literally just treated her like trash, but we're going to leave that alone. Back to the story. So he was mad. So he's like, all right, pull her out and burn her. Yeah, he said, pull her out and burn her. He was going to burn her. The man who was sleeping around with prostitutes doing bad too, it was going to burn her because she was pregnant. Let me tell you something about this double standard. Anyway, back to the story. So they go and they take out Tamar and they pull out Tamar and they're about to burn her. But she's like, hey, I have a message for Judah. So she said, I am pregnant by the man who owns these. So she takes the staff, the cord, and the seal that Judah gave her earlier and sends it to him. So when he gets it, he's like, oh my gosh. He realizes that she's the one I slept with. That was the prostitute I slept with, was my daughter-in-law. And he's like, that's my kids. And he says, she is more righteous than I. So he stops her. She doesn't get burned. But he realizes that he did wrong. He realizes that he was supposed to give her that third son, but he wasn't. And it was against the law, against their culture, against what God wanted. And he realized that she was more righteous than I. So he saves her. She's fine. And the Bible says that they never sleep together again. I don't know. The Bible wanted us to know that they don't do the do anymore. He never sleeps with her again. But she ends up having twins, y'all. So not one baby. She has 2 boys, Perez and Zerah. And not only that, out of her son Perez's bloodline is King David and Jesus. So that means that Perez is King David's great-great-great-great-grandfather, and he's Jesus's great-great-great-great-great times some grandfather. So God himself was born out of her bloodline. How cool is that? Y'all, I love this story because though she was treated like trash, and literally they treated her like trash, God still saw her. He saw her the whole time. He was watching her, to the point that he took care of her. In the end, though she was treated wrong, she got double for her trouble. She got 2 sons, not 1. And then the Lord was in her bloodline. He took care of her. Though she was treated wrong, he took care of her. How sweet is that? I love that. And it's interesting because in the story, I wouldn't have necessarily done what she did. Yeah, if they would have treated me wrong like that, I wouldn't have slept with my father-in-law. I wouldn't have tried to got what was mine. I would have left it alone. Like, these people are tripping. You know what? The further, the better. No, she knew what was right. And it's crazy because she wasn't doing it for a selfish reason. She wasn't trying to really get hers. She knew that what was righteous and what was right in the eyes of the Lord. And she also, for Judah, like Judah's line had to be carried on. So she did that for him too, so that his family line can be carried on. And so that also that God could be honored and what was right could be happened. Sorry, I don't know how to really word that, but she did what was right, not only for God, but for Judah. How selfless is that? How selfless is that? So I just thought that was great. Like, that's the kind of girl she is, to take care of people. And because of that, God blessed her. So just a thought for you guys. If people treat you wrong and they are treating you like trash and stuff, just know that God sees you. He sees you. He's watching you, and he will give you double for your trouble. Don't worry. He is watching you. Keep righteous. Keep faithful. Keep following him, because he will take care of you. Here on this earth, he will take care of you. And that is so, so, so sweet. He has a plan. He has a plan. And just because those people act like shenanigans doesn't mean that the plan is rocked. Okay? He has a plan. So I thought that was wonderful. And I thought that was awesome. So I just wanted to tell y'all her story. It was juicy to me. It was good. I was like, what? So I just wanted to tell you guys her story, y'all. So I hope y'all tune in for the rest of the Tuesdays of this month, because we have more stories coming your way. Let me tell you something. It's about to be good. I'm so excited. Also, if you haven't already, please subscribe, like this video, and to this channel so that you can catch the rest of these stories. And go to instinctivelyroyal.com and subscribe. Be a part of the blog. Check out what we're doing. You guys, we have an event in the month of May, this month, on the 22nd, Saturday the 22nd. And more details will be given to you later. But y'all, I would love for you guys to join us. It is going to be awesome. And go ahead and subscribe so you can get that information. All right, thank you guys so much. Thank you for joining me for tea time. And we will see you next week.